I have really been thinking a lot about what it means to be in the in between space of life. That I'm not where I once was, but I'm not where I want to be. I'm not my dream self yet. And that really has been saturating my mind for the past 3 days. And the emotion is called liminality. And I feel so empowered now that I have the vocabulary word and have the definition to be like, okay, I'm not crazy. This is the emotion that I am feeling in this in between space. And someone asked me, how do you get over this space of like in betweenness? And I want to challenge us to look at it from a different perspective. It's not the getting over the in between, it's journeying through the in between. Like, literally, you have to go through it. You have to walk the path. There is no way around. If we are literally on a hike we're starting at point A and we want to get to point B, you can't jump around it. You can't swim through it, baby. You got to walk through it. And I think when we hear the phrase, you have to walk through it, it's always paired with like weathering the storm. And that is not the phase of life that I'm in, or any time that I feel like I'm in this space of in betweenness. It's not the weathering of the storm, it's the putting one foot in front of the other. The sun is still out. I'm still smelling the roses. And it's just that space of being. And I think because we were not taught the frameworks, unless you were raised in some type of Buddhist monk or in the abbey or something, then you go through the process of what it means to be. Like being as an action, not being as this like your human being self. We understand that, we can conceptualize it, we can feel our hands, we can feel our legs, we understand us as a human being. If you're religious, if you're spiritual, you understand yourself as a spiritual being. You understand God as the spiritual being, right? But the state of being that I'm talking about is the action, not the noun. The one foot in front of the other, the mundane. What does your average Tuesday look like? What does your average Wednesday look like? That state of being. I'm not talking about waiting for your birthday to celebrate something. I'm not talking about going out only to celebrate, but being in your joy when you are in that in-betweenness. When you're not broke, but you also not rich. When all your bills are paid, but you're not where you want to be yet financially. When you have done the work to talk about love and healing, and you acknowledge your traumas, and you have done that labor intensive work, you're not there yet, but you know you can still date. When you know that you have the intellect and the wherewithal, and you know what careers are out there yet, but you're not at that level yet. That state of being, what does life look like in the in-betweenness? And this is the truth of the matter. Most people, in most parts of our lives, we are going to be being. We are going to be in between, not there yet, and where I want to be. It doesn't matter whether you're a broke college student or you're a multi-million-dollar entrepreneur, because the goalpost always moves. Once you graduate, that state of in-betweenness from the first step on campus to graduation, that was a state of being, that in-betweenness. Your in-betweenness doesn't stop when you graduate. You have a new starting point, post-grad. What does life look like until you get your first job? That's in-betweenness. Okay, you got your first job and you've worked a couple years. What is the next step? That in-betweenness. And I think we have been taught to villainize boredom, to villainize the in-between, to villainize the mundane. We are not taught a lot of things, especially when it comes to emotions, okay? Let's just call it spade a spade. We are not taught a lot of things. We are not taught a lot of things or presented frameworks in which to navigate emotions. And I think when you don't have the vocabulary words to put what you are feeling, we automatically choose good or bad. I'm not feeling my best, so that means this must be some degree of badness. It's not anger, but it's not joy. It's not grief, but it's not passion. And so, like, that boredom is still valid. And I think we have to teach people how to be bored, how to navigate through that. And that's where the conversation of creativity comes in. That's where the conversation of community comes in. That's where all the intersecting conversations come in. But I think it's so important for people to understand emotions and to put the name to what you are feeling, because there is a name for everything that you're feeling. We can name anger, we can name love, we can name betrayal, we can name confusion. Every emotion you're feeling, there's a name to it. And I think that's why people say language is so powerful. Because when you can name something, you understand the definition, it provides more clarity. So, yeah,